Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra, and I make minimalism videos. Today's minimalism video is going to be the season finale of my makeup rehab, my no-buy. I did an entire year of a no-buy from October 2020 to October 2021, and I got 20 tips for you guys that might help you along in your journey to hopefully have a successful low-buy, no-buy. So without further ado, let's just get into the tips. Let's get it, let's go. Woo. Before we get started, as usual, if you wish to help out my channel, you can consider checking out my Patreon, and if not, then just give this video a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe. Okay, let's get right into the list. Okay, number one, I didn't end up resubscribing to any beauty gurus for over a year. If you guys have seen my videos, I mentioned some of the tips that helped me a lot was unsubscribing from beauty content, and in the beginning, like the first couple months, I would like unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then I kind of realized it was kind of like messing with my journey. It made me want to keep rebuying things, so I was like, okay, you know what, till this no-buy is done, I'm gonna just kind of put it on pause. And honest to God, the months went by and I found other things to do with my time that I didn't really miss my beauty content. I ended up finding other interests, and a year is a long time to be able to pick up other hobbies and habits. Yeah, it wasn't actually too bad. I'll be honest, I didn't really miss it, and even now that my no-buy is done, I still don't think I'll be going back to it. My suggestion is consider not resubscribing to beauty content until you have a healthier relationship with your makeup. Okay, number two, if you do enter Sephora, stick to your wish list. That's something that helped me a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, don't ever go to Sephora. Sometimes we need to repurchase things, whether it be like a replacement if you're on a low buy, or maybe your no buy is done, or you need to pick something up for somebody. I don't know. Whatever the reason is that you're going into Sephora, try your best to stick to the wish list. I had only 3 items on my wish list. If you guys have seen my other videos, my wish list was only 3 items. I had to be super selective. I actually did not end up buying any of the things that were on my wish list. One of them was a YSL perfume. If you enter Sephora, stick to the wish list. That will definitely help legitimize why you're in there, and you can't justify buying anything because it's not on your wish list, which means that if you want to buy it, it has to go on your wish list, which means that you need to sacrifice something else in its place. Okay, number 3, I stopped with the whole comparison of drugstore luxury nonsense. In the end, I decided to kind of focus on what was most key, and that was the quality of the product. I decided to not let other indicators like the branding, where I bought it, what store it was, be the driver as to what I decluttered and what I kept. My collection is probably an even split between luxury items and drugstore items. So you guys can see I still have my YSL cushion, and I still have, I know I said I would declutter it, I still have it, but it's a Maybelline lipstick. This is the color I'm wearing right now, Red Siren. Oh my gosh, I sound so promo-y. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is really, it goes on your face, nobody knows what you're wearing. Okay, number 4, I switched to multi-purpose items. So I ended up buying more classic items that I could give lots of purpose to. For example, pink is a really good shade that you can put as a blush, you can put as a lipstick, you can use as an eyeshadow. It's very versatile. So I ended up picking items that were more multifunctional. So I picked up a brown shade that I could use as a contour, as an eyeshadow. These type of shades were a lot more functional. I decluttered shades that were less functional, like deep reds. I mean, yeah, but as a general rule, that did help me a lot in terms of like curating and having less space inside of my stuff being taken up with items that were only one function versus one item that was small but could do many functions. Okay, number 5, I internalized that I was beautiful without makeup. I have made a separate video on that and addressing this, so I won't go into too much depth into that here, but definitely a big driver of why I kept buying a lot of makeup was because I felt like I wasn't enough or pretty enough without it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody, you know what, you're beautiful without makeup, this and that. The honest to God, makeup is a personal choice. You do you, boo. But kind of figuring out the relationship you have with your self-worth and your beauty and your makeup will definitely help your journey be a lot smoother. Okay, number 6, I focused on making money. Once I calculated how much these low buys or no buys were saving me, I was like, yes, I could definitely put to better use some of my money. And I have spoken about this in videos. The video that definitely turned this around for me was a girl did an empties video, and she calculated how much she spent, which was like 30K on makeup, and she was crying because she's like, I could have used that money for something else, paying off my student loans, paying down my car, treating family and friends. Like, what a selfish thing to have indulged in. And that really spoke to me. And so because of that, I tried to think, okay, you know what, like, I'm gonna save my money, not going to spend it. I calculated, I think I was spending like $300-400 on makeup a year, and I was like, although that may not be a lot to other people, might be a lot to some, I was like, I definitely need to do something better use of my money. I can't keep spending it like this. Like, I'm 30 now, I can't justify my money being spent like this. And actually, along that vein, I focused on making money. So instead of spending all that time scrolling on Sephora and like watching makeup tutorials and makeup reviews, I ended up using the time to actually go and do something productive. So I ended up working more and I ended up making more. So it was kind of like a win-win. Less money spent on makeup, more money in my pocket. All right, number 7, aim for it to fit in a bag. I know that this may be unreasonable for some people depending where you're starting. For myself, I think I had like one drawer full of makeup and I wanted to get it down to a bag, and that's kind of been the direction that I've been going in. I've been doing my best to try to make it fit in a bag, but I know sometimes it's tough. Like, I'm not the greatest at decluttering my makeup. I'd rather fully finish my makeup. My collection isn't that large, so I have that luxury to finish off products. So it's taken me a little bit longer to fit in a bag, but it fits about like in a bag and a half. So a tip that I could give, if that's something that you'd like, is to try to make your makeup fit in a bag. Okay, number 8, I saved a lot of money. So as I previously mentioned, I ended up saving between $300 to $500 on makeup. I didn't buy a lot. So the reason that it was a bit high was because I would spend my money on like more expensive items. So like this was $80 and some of my lipsticks were like $50 because I would splurge on like more expensive items to compensate not buying many. But still, it racked up. I was like $500. I could do something better with that. Like I could buy stocks. I could put that away to retirement. I could eat better. So I was like, you know what? At this stage in my life, I just want to be a little bit more financially responsible. Okay, number 9, accountability. I didn't want to disappoint you guys. My journey was public. Makeup Rehab helped a lot. Like I see a lot of people hold themselves accountable by using Makeup Rehab, which is on Reddit, and I might link that down below. And having people along with you in your journey helps a lot. And knowing that I was going to come back here in a couple months time to tell you guys how it went was a really big inspiration and a big driver for me to do well on this journey. I really didn't feel comfortable coming here and sitting down and telling you guys like it didn't go well. I mean, if it didn't go well and if I did, fail, I would try my best to figure out what didn't work so that somebody else could avoid that mistake. But yeah, knowing that I didn't want to disappoint you guys was a big driver as to why I didn't buy it, because I was like, if I buy this, I'm going to have to get on camera and tell thousands of people I bought this. And I was like, no, forget it. It's not worth it. Okay, number 10, emotional support. So seeing everybody's comments on my channel really inspired me too, made me feel like I wasn't alone, made me feel less ashamed of my own addiction. Like when I was really alone in my addiction, I remember there were times I used to cry and I used to feel really frustrated. Like I know it's like maybe to some people like, ew, you cried over makeup. It sounds rather ridiculous, but if you've been in the addiction, you know that ugly, frustrating feeling of where your makeup feels like not enough and too much at the same time, and you feel like drowned by your desire to buy things, but like there's not enough money to buy it. And the emotional support that came from knowing that I wasn't alone helped me feel a lot better and a lot less ashamed. That it made this journey a lot smoother, because I was like, I am recovering from an actual addiction, so I was gentle with myself because I had that emotional support. And I recommend for people who may not have a YouTube channel, check out the Makeup Rehab community. That place is amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Okay, number 11, I accepted that I had a problem. So as I mentioned before, there was a lot of shame for me before I found Makeup Rehab. I felt very ashamed that like I could not stop buying makeup. I didn't buy a lot, but I couldn't stop. Like it was like on a mental level. Accepting that I had a problem was the first step to finding help. I wasn't going to embark on a low buy, on a no buy if I didn't accept that I had a problem. I could justify it and tell myself everything is fine, but then I stay the same and I stay in the same problem and things don't change. So my recommendation is the first step is accepting that you need help and to not be ashamed. Okay, number 12, if I messed up, I'll keep going. So when I embarked on my no buy after doing a low buy in 2020, so 2020 was kind of like an unintentional low buy. I bought very little because I just didn't know when the pandemic was going to end, that I realized I have what it takes to be able to do a low buy. So I was like, and then I was like, for 2021, let's get a little courageous and try for a no buy and let's just see how it goes. And I know that as somebody who's embarked on a lot of journeys, a fitness journey, a minimalism journey, I know that there's always going to be like bumps in the road. I was like easy on myself. I told myself that if you failed or if you bought something, don't give up, keep going, keep trying, don't be discouraged. And that helped a lot, that to the point where for my no buy, I actually bought nothing for an entire year. Disclaimer, I did get sent free makeup. I didn't pay for that myself. Like that's like part of my job, like as a YouTuber, being sent brand deals and packages like that. So I don't consider that me fueling my addiction. Like those are two separate issues. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying like, if it's part of your job, don't take makeup in, but what I'm saying is don't fuel the addiction. Don't go out to buy as a band-aid for internal problems. Number 13. So answering the question, did I buy anything? Do gifts count? I'm not here saying this because I'm trying to brag or I'm trying to be inspirational, but I actually did not end up buying anything in my no buy. So let's just talk about, do gifts count? Do PR packages count? My makeup did increase, but not because I went out and bought it. I was gifted some makeup from my father for my birthday, and I also got sent one PR package from Merit sometime in the summer. So So that upped my makeup count to like 2 mascaras and a foundation, and it's not a lot. It was things I was gonna buy anyway. I'm a really simple makeup type of gal. If you guys have seen my makeup videos, mascara, foundation, lipstick, done. 14. PR packages. Let's talk about that. So when I first made my first video talking about my makeup rehab, I was not getting sent free stuff at all. So, and I remember specifically saying that one of the points that helped me a lot with my makeup rehab journey was this idea that people who have these massive vanities that you see on YouTube, they're sent it for free, and we really shouldn't be aspiring to have a makeup collection similar to theirs. So once I got sent free makeup, and I remember I calculated how much it was worth, the amount that I was sent, I think it was like over $100, you know, a mascara being 30 and like a brow gel being like 29, and I was like, this can quickly rack up if I was paying for it. So being on the other side, I want to really emphasize we should not be spending our money to try to emulate what people get for free. You can't compete like financially, like unless you want to financially ruin yourself, you cannot compete with people who get sent it for free. It took being on the other side of the coin to really see that. Like if somebody told me like, would you pay for this yourself? Like no, like I'll take it if it's free, but I'm not going to pay $100+ for mascara and brow gel. Like I'm just not about that anymore. Okay, number 15. So I avoided apps and stores until I felt ready, which actually took longer than expected. So I did mention that in my previous videos to avoid going to the store. I know that's a little bit different from tip 1, but for myself, when I did go back to the Sephora store, I think it was like 6 months into my no-buy. It took me a really long time where I felt emotionally ready to enter the store. Before that, I was like, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna go in. There's definitely a lot of things that I wanna pick up. So it took another 6 months for me to finally get that like desire out of my system where I could enter the store and be like, you know what, I've been on this journey for 6 months already. I'm not going to jeopardize it by buying something. So I could go into the store and feel good. And I did buy skincare. Skincare is not considered makeup, at least for my makeup journey. I don't consider picking up a serum makeup because it isn't. It's skincare. It's different for me, at least. I re-entered Sephora because I needed to buy a serum because I had completely finished all of my serums. I didn't have any more, right? And my skin was drying. And that's the advice that I can give. Take your time. If it takes you longer than other people, a couple months, a year, it might be worth it. But again, you don't need to be stoic and hitting yourself on the back and you can't go in the store. If you need to go into the store, go for it. It's different for everybody. Okay, 16. So I had less brushes to clean. I had a much easier project pan. I've actually made a separate video talking about my easier project panning and the fact that I'm now done project panning. I know project panning is different for everybody. The reason that I find it as like having finished my project pan was the fact that I don't pan things anymore out of panning. It's more like I only have like the one eyeshadow palette. So I'm actually just using it and the pannings are happening naturally now. It's not like, oh man, like I got 3-4 palettes that I'm trying to pan. I don't do that anymore. It's more just like a natural process of using up the product. I also have less brushes because I'm using less makeup because I have less makeup. Washing brushes is so much easier now. I don't know about you guys, but I just hated washing brushes. So it's just so nice not washing them. That was something else that motivated me in my no buy. I was like, if I just have less makeup, I have less brushes to wash. Okay, number 17. It was really nice not having that much clutter in my drawers. Like just having like a tiny little section for my makeup and feeling really beautiful with that amount was really, really nice and really satisfying. I would probably say that's probably one of the top drivers in my makeup journey. I was like, I don't want to buy junk to have clutter in my drawer. Like now that I've experienced not having clutter, I just can't go back to having clutter again. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, number 18. I saved a lot of time in the morning. So you guys might have heard of the term decision fatigue between deciding this palette, that palette, this foundation, that brush, this eyeshadow. Like I didn't have to deal with that anymore. It was literally, I just had the one palette, the one eyeshadow, I just bam, 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 bam. Like maybe I might pick some colors out of my palette, but beyond that, honestly, getting makeup done and ready, like tops 20. If I got like really like took my time, maybe 20, but between like 10 minutes to 20 minutes, somewhere in there is how fast I could get my makeup on. And it got to the point where I just had so little makeup, I no longer felt forced to have to wear makeup if I didn't want to. So that also saved me time. That'd be an extra 20 minutes that I could just sleep in. I don't know, it's just really nice. I didn't quit makeup entirely. I still do have makeup and I still love it, but it's just it's not at the forefront anymore, and I saved some time. Speaking of which, number 19, I still love makeup, but it's not an obsession anymore. I'm not obsessed about makeup anymore. Makeup, as you guys know, will still probably be the thing that I have the most of in my minimalism, but I'm really happy and content. I feel like I can just love makeup now, but it's not an obsession. It's not something toxic. It's not something that's draining me financially, emotionally, spiritually. It's not messing with my mental health, making me question my own personal beauty and things like that. It's more just kind of like something that's there, that's like fun to play with, it enhances my beauty. It's just a tool. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I feel like it's what makeup is supposed to be, no longer this obsession that was just, I had let it grow into something unhealthy. Okay, and number 20, I worked on the internal me and focused less on external factors. This is really personal for everybody, like what makeup represents for you, what does the addiction represent for you, like what drives you to do bad habits in terms of makeup, like why do you hoard, why do you collect, why do you know, all of those things. That at the end of the day, you're gonna have to do a lot of shadow work and internal work and figure that out for yourself. I can't sit here and tell you, you know, what makeup means this for you and it means that for you. Like I don't know, I really don't know. But if you're watching this video and you have struggled with makeup and having a good balance, figuring out that internal work will make makeup buys a lot more smoother. I used to read a lot on the makeup rehab. People would be like, I relapsed, I bought this, I bought that. And as they reflected on it, they'd be like, I was stressed because of family, I was stressed because of work, things weren't going right, makeup was making me feel better, it would fill in the void, I was bored, I was this, I was that. So figuring out what it is for you will help a lot. For me, when I first started my makeup addiction, I was recovering from an eating disorder. Makeup was finally something fun that didn't involve being on a treadmill all the time and counting calories. It felt nice to feel beautiful without having to indulge my dysmorphia. So I had just traded in one addiction for another. So for me, just letting go of addictions is something that I'm focusing on, just being content with who I am and where I am in my life. So I know I tried to go as fast as I could, rapid fire on the points. I know time is precious and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So thank you so much for having come to watch this. I hope it helps you along in your no buy, low buy makeup rehab journey. And comment down below any tips or tricks that have helped you along in your journey, because I'm sure that will help out anybody who reads the comments for this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.